Welcome back to our minute-to-minute analysis of Matrix Reloaded. Last time, the architect revealed that Neo was the result of a systematic anomaly. All of Neo's beliefs have been deconstructed, but his most important belief remains: his love for Trinity. But what if what he thought to be love was just part of the programming? Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Our previous video concluded with the architect mentioning that Neo needed to go back to the source and then choose 23 humans to repopulate Zion. Otherwise, the human race goes extinct.
You won't let it happen. You can't. You need human beings to survive.
There are levels of survival we are prepared to accept. However, the relevant issue is whether or not you are ready to accept the responsibility for the death of every human being in this world.
Recall that Morpheus once told Neo that the machines turned humans into batteries, but that does not mean that humans are the only source of energy. Maybe the humans aren't being used for that purpose at all. For the architect, human extinction is simply an inconvenience. The machines can't survive without them. They are willing to accept that outcome. But is Neo? Would he be willing to accept the death of every human? This calls into question Neo's status as the savior. For a long time, it was believed that Neo is the one who will save humanity, but now he is faced with a choice that puts that notion into question.
It is interesting reading your reactions.
His reactions are interesting because Neo is acting differently from his predecessors. He is not the typical savior that the architect has faced previously.
Your 5 predecessors were, by design, based on a similar predication, a contingent affirmation that was meant to create a profound attachment to the rest of your species, facilitating the function of the One. While the others experienced this in a very general way, your experience is far more specific, vis-a-vis love.
Trinity.
This bit of information is very important to the Matrix lore. It's what differentiates Neo from the previous saviors. His 5 predecessors experienced a general love and attachment for humanity, which made it easier for the architect to have them choose to return to the source. Yet what sticks out the most about the predecessors is that they, as the architect said, were by design based on a similar predication. This means that their love for humanity was not spontaneous or natural. It was programmed by the machines, a contingency plan, an affirmation. But the most important thing is that in Neo's case, this affirmation or love was not felt in a general way. It was focused on one person, Trinity. Now we understand why the architect said that Neo's reactions were interesting. When the architect spoke about the possibility of human extinction, Neo was probably only thinking about Trinity, which makes him a selfish individual, a false savior who prefers to save one person and sacrifice the rest. Though ironically, Trinity entered the Matrix ready to sacrifice herself for Neo.
Which brings us at last to the moment of truth wherein the fundamental flaw is ultimately expressed and the anomaly revealed as both beginning and end. There are 2 doors. The door to your right leads to the source and the salvation of Zion.
This was the door that the Oracle once spoke of to Neo. This door will save Zion, but not in the way Neo thought. The Oracle withheld some very important information from Neo, but did she lie to him? Maybe. It depends on your viewpoint. Nevertheless, this omission is daunting. Neo will save Zion, but not the Zion he knew. He is to save the idea of Zion by helping to create the new one, the 7th Zion. So does the salvation of Zion lie behind this door? Again, it depends on your viewpoint. But then what's behind door number 2?
The door to your left leads back to the Matrix, to her and to the end of your species. As you adequately put, the problem is choice.
Neo is once again face to face with a dichotomy of choice. Since the first movie, Neo has had to choose one of 2 paths. Either follow the white rabbit or stay at home. Choose to stay in the car or walk down the street. Choose the red pill or the blue pill. Choose to fight Smith or run. All these choices meant nothing in the end. They were all made by design, like a video game. All paths still lead to the architect, though there is something different about Neo. The architect was surprised by Neo's connection with Trinity, and that special connection is what influences Neo's choice.
But we already know what you are going to do, don't we? Already I can see the chain reaction. The chemical precursors that signal the onset of an emotion, designed specifically to overwhelm logic and reason. An emotion that is already blinding you from the simple and obvious truth. She is going to die, and there is nothing you can do to stop it.
The architect again uses the word design when referring to love. We have discussed how this design may have been caused by the Oracle's meddling in the events of the sixth simulation. She was the one who manipulated Neo and Trinity's relationship, ergo ensuring that when the time came when Neo had to make a choice, he chose the door that leads to the salvation of one human and the damnation of the others. Neo chooses the door to Trinity.
Hope. It is the quintessential human delusion, simultaneously the source of your greatest strength and your greatest weakness.
This was the architect's final attempt to persuade Neo to return to the source. The architect looks at Neo's reactions. He can see Neo's feeble hope that he can somehow save Trinity and humanity, but in time, the architect will be proven right. Trinity's death is inevitable.
If I were you, I would hope that we don't meet again.
We won't.
Neo realizes that the architect has been toying with him since the beginning. However, that doesn't matter. What matters now is Trinity. The architect assures Neo that they will not meet again. However, what the father does not know is that the mother had played her cards well, and now the next stage of her plan is underway. A play that will put the machines at the mercy of a rogue program, and their only hope for survival is the one. Next time, Neo challenges his predetermined path and the cliffhanger ending of Matrix Reloaded. For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.